September's a bit of a manic month in motorsport, with all of the commitments and events scraped either side of F1's mythical summer break, which trickles down to the rest of our mad four-wheeled world. As such, I found myself off the back of the Monza Grand Prix, straight to Goodwood, straight to Singapore, then straight to Japan, then back and straight to Spa for the Spa 6 hours. Jet-lagged though I was desperate not to lose the magic of driving my very own GT40 around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit for 6 hours. The car was well sorted, prepared, to be honest, looking a bit better prepared than me. Let's just hope it goes better than last year, eh?
So we're here for the second time at the 6 hours of Spa. First time we'd only just got the fuel tank in the car at this stage and it was still coming over from the UK. We're a little bit more settled this time. We've had a year of testing. We know everything about what happened last year where the left front suspension failed on the car and we had to retire. So this is a concerted effort. We've already been testing yesterday.
The tyre pressure sorts the flopping. It's now too snatchy in the high-speed corners, so if we can leave the tyre pressure, put the rebound back in, and then just give me a little bit softer rear bump.
Okay.
Is there a softer position on the rear roll bar?
No.
No. Just give me a bit softer rear bump.
Okay.
And put and put the roll bar and put the rear roll back in.
Rebound back.
Yeah.
Just me and Gary Pearson are going to be driving the car for 6 hours. It's going to be an interesting one. There's nowhere to hide here now because we've done miles and miles and miles and miles in the car without fault. And now we've come back here for the longest historic motor race in the world in one piece. Yeah, okay, you can race for longer at Le Mans, but they're in multiple different races. Here, you run for 6 hours into the darkness, and we're going to have to do the job. And we're really hoping we're going to take home a podium or even better, a win. That's the goal here. There are 20 GT40s in the race. Can you imagine finding 20 of these bespoke racing cars all around the world and bringing them into one place? And the competition is going to be really fierce. There are Indy 500 winners in the field, there are Le Mans winners in the field. It's not a sleepy, historic racing event. This is a proper, modern endurance race. It just so happens that all the cars are H-pattern. A GT40 is the car to be in. It has a little bit more straight line speed than everything else, and they're just built like out of stone, the things. Theoretically unbreakable, although we managed to break ours last year. So, unless it rains, in which case all bets are off, in dry conditions a GT40 should be the winning car here, but there are a lot of GT40s to beat and people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds honing the cars to try to win this race. It's a big deal here, and if you cross the line first at 10 p.m, it's one of the biggest prizes in historic motorsport, so we're focused and also excited.
Nothing focuses the mind like a little bit of rain round Spa. I was going to head out at the end in the dark to try and get our best lap in. I got too much traffic early last year and we were hoping the circuit was going to dry out. What follows though is one of the most extreme experiences I've ever had behind the wheel.
So we start P8 for the 6 hours of Spa. It was kind of okay. Masters Endurance Legends time behind us, but it was kind of okay. It rained a lot. I probably should have got on with it a little bit earlier in the session, actually, when it still wasn't dark and wet, rather than just being wet. But we had to end up doing the lap right at the end of the session, which I think Cost us a bit of time. In any case, the 4th row to start a 6-hour endurance race in a classic car is not bad at all. The main point though is the car handles really well, especially in wet conditions, and everything mechanically is very strong. So we look in good shape. I'm going to try and I think I'll probably start the race. I'm going to try and keep up with the pace while also saving a little bit of fuel and saving a little bit of tyre for later. We use one set of tyres for 6 hours. So if you overheat the rear tyres, you forget the race. So yeah, we're going to try and do that. And looking forward to it. We start 4 p.m. local and then it runs through to 10 p.m. local. The sunset's around 7:30-ish. So about half the race is in the dark. So it'll be tough. It'll be tough. But we are up for the challenge. So I think the strategy we're going to run, I need to confirm this with my colleague, but I think the strategy we're going to run is going to be me at the start of the race, then Gary Pearson in the middle, and then I'll jump back in for the end. So the suspension bits, fine.
Yeah.
Drivetrain's fine.
We're keeping an eye on them all the way through and nothing's moved. So
Okay.
you can't spanner check them because they're split pins.
Yeah.
But everything's stayed exactly where it is.
Okay. And tyre-wise, what are we going to do?
Unfortunately,
Here we go.
those ones have all got big flat spots on them.
Yeah.
But the others I've done a thing with the reserve as well, because I'm not totally convinced that the reserve's filling up, but I don't quite know what's going on. So what I've done is I've had the side off the tank,
Yeah.
and I've filled the reserve tank independently.
It's whether it fills when we put it in when we go to the fuel station and fill it.
That's a different thing altogether. But what we want to do is try and not use it if we don't have to. We don't have to sort of run it until it goes onto that.
Yeah.
The joy and simultaneously the misery of this race is the proximity to what it would have been like to drive one of these great machines over a long distance in period. The tribulations of it, the physicality of it, the pure pot luck of it. That all times and multiplied by the personal, psychological and financial investment in desperately willing one of these cars to make it to the end of a long race like this. It's all worth it though, trust me, when you sit on the line for the pinch me madness of running 20 GT40s side by side, wheel to wheel towards La Source. When I watched this footage back the first time, I simply cannot believe we raced these cars like this. car running well. The start, a good one, up to P5 behind fellow Brit Sam Hancock, battling away over 4th place. There was so much of that to do to get to the front. When I thought I'd nailed Sam for 4th place, David Hart came through like a steam train on the right hand side. It was 1 up, 1 down. I was now battling Hart for 4th with Hancock in close company behind. I was really starting to lose time now, and just when I started to get frustrated with the battle, a slow back marker brought me right at the top of Eau Rouge and Radion. It was the battle for 3rd, demoted down to P6. Racing Gibbs, racing definitely takes. But finally a traffic-free run through the base of Eau Rouge, a slingshot off the top curve, and a nice revvy upshift put me past Hancock and into clear air. We were off after David Hart for P4. The close down on David Hart's orange machine was fast and furious, and I thought it wasn't over yet, nothing doing with plenty of car lengths between us on the front straight, until he misses a gear badly. I tentatively poke my car down the inside and he has a little wide moment, allowing me through. The battle was on now for the podium positions, charging towards Eau Rouge, charging towards the dark, charging towards nothing. Wait, what? As light turned into darkness, we were nowhere to be seen. Our left-hand fuel tank repeatedly spilling fuel on our left-hand tyres, victory celebrations and trophy shots replaced by a desolate car in a truck with a long journey home. Our Spa 6 Hours challenge dissolves into the darkness.